I stand to reject this budget vote. Mr. Ramaphosa, you can no longer hide behind the courts instead of serving the people. You can do the simple thing by resigning.
Ramaphosa has been left under intense pressure after an unexpected show of unity between the EFF and the MK Party, as both political movements joined forces to confront him over the controversial Phala Phala scandal. For those who may not remember, the Phala Phala scandal first exploded in 2022, when allegations emerged that a large amount of foreign currency had been hidden at President Cyril Ramaphosa's Phala Phala game farm. Questions were raised about where the money came from, why it was allegedly kept on the property, and how a reported theft at the farm was handled. Since then, opposition parties have repeatedly demanded answers, with many arguing that South Africans deserve full transparency from their president. Now the controversy has returned to center stage. During today's heated budget hearing, broadcast live on national television, members of both the EFF and the MK Party stood up one after another and directly challenged Ramaphosa. The atmosphere inside Parliament quickly became tense as lawmakers demanded that the president either fully address the Phala Phala allegations or seriously consider stepping down. What shocked many observers was not just the criticism itself, but the fact that the EFF and MK Party appeared united in their message. Both parties delivered strong statements, insisting that the issue cannot simply be ignored and that South Africans are still waiting for answers. And here's the interesting part. Much of the mainstream media coverage has focused on selected moments from today's proceedings, but many people have not seen the full sequence of events as they happened. That's why I've compiled the key moments together, one after another, so you can watch and decide for yourself what really took place inside Parliament today. Before we begin, make sure you smash that subscribe button, leave a like, and share this video with friends and family who want to stay informed about South African politics. Daniel, show our viewers the first video.
House Chair, the President has a tendency to run away when we speak here. He did it during SONA and I see he's doing it again. But his colleagues will inform him. We must begin by conveying our heartfelt condolences to the family of Tlamolo Samo, a 19-year-old young man from Limpopo whose life was brutally cut short in Mossel Bay yesterday. We extend our sympathies to his parents, his sister, Nonhlanhla, and all those who loved him. It is believed that Tlamolo was a victim of the lawlessness which has engulfed our nation over the past months and weeks. Welcome back, Mr. President. House Chairperson, the President and Commander-in-Chief of the EFF has for many years warned against the normalization of Afrophobic vigilantism and the hatred against Black Africans would eventually cost innocent South African lives. This is precisely because the cousin of xenophobia is tribalism. The cousin of Afrophobia is tribalism. The two are simply inseparable. Mr. President, what should concern you even more as head of state is that these vigilante groups are not operating in secret. They are breaking the law openly in front of law enforcement officers. They are building and assaulting people in front of the police. Why should we not believe that this violence is state-sponsored? Why should we not believe that this anarchy is sponsored by you as the state when crime is committed in front of those who are supposed to be custodians of the law? Where is the voice of the Minister of the Police? Mr. President, when you rise and respond here, you must reiterate and outline what you will be doing to address this crisis before more South African lives are lost. You must never get tired of explaining yourself to the people of South Africa. Mr. President, in your State of the Nation address, you stood before this House and committed to the employment of an additional 10,000 labor inspectors to protect South African workers from exploitation and address non-compliance with labor legislation. Where are the 10,000 additional labor inspectors, Mr. President? Your Minister of Small Business stood before South Africans and announced 500 million fund for spaza short for South Africans. Where is the 500 million fund for spaza short for South Africans? How many township entrepreneurs have touched it and felt it? Mr. President, in the same sauna, you promised the country a new university in Ekurhuleni, a promise which you made in 2020, by the way, 6 years ago. Yet the Minister of Education, Higher Education, has failed to identify a mere site, Mr. President. There is no site for a commitment that you made 6 years ago, no foundation, no construction team, and no building plan. Mr. President, these ministers clearly do not take you seriously. When a president speaks and makes a commitment before the nation, ministers and government departments are supposed to work around the clock, day and night, to ensure that the commitments made by the president become the reality. Yet, time and again, your promises are ignored by your own ministers. Do you not think that you have lost the moral authority to discipline them? Because leadership is not just about giving instructions. Leadership is about setting an example. How do you demand accountability from your ministers when South Africans are still waiting for accountability from you, Mr. President? How do you insist on transparency from your cabinet when the Phala Phala scandal continues to cast a shadow over your presidency? Mr. President, South Africans watched in disbelief as allegations emerged that millions of dollars were hidden and stuffed under couches in your private farm and residence. They watched as questions were raised about how that money got there, how much was there, and why was that money not declared. I heard some members of the ANC raising a point of order. It's not the EFF that said the money was not declared, it's SARS and the South African Reserve Bank. But perhaps the reason why so many South Africans remain uneasy about Phala Phala is because it reminds us of your questionable relationship with big business interests, Mr. President. It has revived questions that have followed you throughout your entire political life. You know, Mr. President, when many of us were growing up in the student movement, we were told that you were the preferred candidate for big business. We were told that you enjoyed the support and mentorship of the Rupert, of the Manel, and the Oppenheimer family. We were told that they regarded you as their guy. We were told that you are their protege. We were told that when President Nelson Mandela chose Thabo Mbeki as his deputy president, you became so upset that you didn't even attend President Mandela's inauguration. You left politics, Mr. President. You went into business, and years later you came back. So the question we must ask is, what made you come back to politics, Mr. President? Who persuaded you to leave business and return to politics? We ask this because South Africa now knows that you tried to resign as president on 2 occasions. And this is not a rumor. Your national chairperson of the ANC, sitting right in front of me, confirmed this thing. Yet somehow you remained. Who exactly persuaded you to stay, Mr. President? Was it really the ANC leadership? Was it really those who sit behind you in this house? Or was the pressure coming from somewhere else, Mr. President? Was it Stellenbosch which concluded that despite the crisis facing our country, you remain the safest pair of hands for their interests? Are they the ones who told you not to resign even when unemployment remains at catastrophic levels under your leadership? Are they the ones telling you not to resign even when millions of young people wake up every morning without hope of finding work? Are they the ones telling you not to resign even when workers struggle with rising costs, rising petrol, rising diesel, rising wages, deepening their further poverty? Are they the ones telling you not to resign, Mr. President, even when municipalities are failing to deliver basic services to our people? Are they the ones telling you not to resign, Mr. President, even when the Constitutional Court told you and your party that what you did was wrong by using your majority to try and hide the truth? Are they the ones who are telling you not to resign, President, even when your own conscience is telling you to resign, Mr. President? Mr. President, Phala Phala is your Achilles heel. You know, when we watch movies, Chair, couches, furniture, and things like fridges, beds, and wardrobes are often used by criminal syndicates to transport drugs, to transport money, to transport weapons, and even to transport and traffic human organs. They use furniture to conceal the criminal proceeds and move things around without and avoiding public scrutiny. This is why many South Africans will struggle, Mr. President, to accept the explanation that this money just found its way into your couch. Because when you hide money into the couch, you must first damage the couch. You must cut the couch. You must create a hole in the couch to stuff that money in. So what exactly happened in your Phala Phala farm, Mr. President? When people hear that millions of dollars were discovered inside furniture, they do not think about your ordinary farming operations. They think about the methods which are used all over the world by criminal cartels to hide things that cannot withstand public scrutiny. This is why you fear the impeachment committee. This is why the ANC fears the impeachment committee. We know that you don't care about the vote that will come at the end. What you are scared of is the scrutiny when we continue to dig deeper into what happened in the Phala Phala farm, Mr. President. And when that moment comes, you will sit alone on that chair. No network of powerful friends will be with you. No proximity to wealth and business elites will be able to shield you from the truth that will be placed on the records. Not the Ruperts, not the Oppenheimers, not Stellenbosch, not the Manels, and not even your own caucus of the ANC. Mr. President, presidents and prime ministers across the world have actually resigned for far lesser things. They've resigned for simple lies. They've resigned for simple scandals. But even when the Constitutional Court says to you, you are wrong, you are insisting on digging your heels in. Mr. President, history will not remember you for Phala Phala alone. History will remember you for refusing an opportunity to resign, even when the people of South Africa wanted to give you a dignified and honorable exit. Do the honorable thing, Mr. President, and resign.
The Honourable Douglas.
Well, if you thought the previous exchange was harsh enough, then think again. Because while the EFF representative was turning up the heat inside the chamber, the MK Party member took things to an entirely different level. The atmosphere was already tense, lawmakers were already exchanging words, and many believed they had heard the strongest criticism of the day. But then the MK Party representative rose to his feet. What happened next caught the attention of everyone in the room. Without hesitation, he marched straight to the microphone and delivered a statement that sent shockwaves through Parliament. His remarks were even more direct, more aggressive, and more explosive than many expected. As cameras rolled and the nation watched live, he intensified the pressure on President Ramaphosa, raising fresh questions and demanding accountability in a way that left the chamber buzzing. The reaction inside Parliament was immediate. Some members applauded, others shook their heads. But one thing was clear, this was no ordinary speech. The temperature inside the room had just gone up several degrees, and if you thought the EFF's criticism was tough, wait until you hear what the MK Party representative had to say. This next moment may be one of the most talked about exchanges from the entire hearing. Daniel, show them the next bombshell.
Thank you, House Chair. I bring you revolutionary greetings from our revolutionary movement, Umkhonto weSizwe. I also want to send my greetings to the president of our movement, uNcamalala. I stand to reject this budget vote. Mr. Ramaphosa, you can no longer hide behind the courts instead of serving the people. You can do the simple thing by resigning. You are hiding behind the law whilst being a constitutional delinquent. But resigning is unfortunately not in your decision. We all know that you occupy that position by virtue of the 1 billion rand bribe from the Stellenbosch mafia. You are president of Stellenbosch. The same funders who gave you 1 billion rand are the funders of the chairperson of the impeachment committee. This whole thing is being rigged. But we are here, we are watching, and we won't allow the Stellenbosch mafia agenda to succeed. We see you, Mr. Ramaphosa. The courts can't protect you anymore from public scrutiny. It shall not be the repeat of the concealment of the billion rand bribe money you received from Stellenbosch, which was concealed by the judiciary. Mr. Ramaphosa, you have a long history of wrongdoing against the people of South Africa. Your call for a concomitant action against the Marikana workers shall never be forgotten. Those who elected you have their hands, with your hands dripping in blood, also must take responsibility. To remind you, Mr. Ramaphosa, those workers died.
Order, honourable member. You take your seat. What is the point of order, honourable member?
Thank you very much, Chairperson. Chairperson, I would like you to rule on whether it is parliamentary for a member to intimate that the President received 1 billion rand bribed money. Is this not casting aspersion? Thank you very much.
Yes, no, thank you, honourable member. Honourable members, I would request you that when you follow the debate and a statement is made, that you immediately take a point of order so that I can rule on it. However, in terms of this one, I will request the honourable member to withdraw that statement. You said that the President received the billion rand bribe.
Chair.
No, I'm dealing with this point of order. You will withdraw that statement, please. You're casting aspersions on the office of the President and the President in person.
Okay, for progress' sake, I will withdraw.
Thank you. You may proceed, honourable member.
Yes, but the workers of Marikana died because they wanted nothing but a living wage. They wanted education for their children. There were no criminals. You called the police on them and they were massacred. That seemed to be your thing, sir. What happened to the CR17 alleged money launderer lawyer?
Order, honourable member. Will you take your seat? What's the point of order, honourable member?
Thank you, Chair. Chair, would you please rule on the statements that the honourable member has made in the light of the fact that there has been a commission of inquiry into Marikana and there were not findings made against President Ramaphosa as per the speech of this member, casting aspersions.
Honourable members, I listen to a point of order and I make a ruling, right? Don't prescribe to me. Don't prescribe to me. I'm in charge of this session and I will execute it according to the rules. Now there's a point of order that has been taken. Honourable Dagmore, I will ask the table staff to assist me and I will come back with a considered ruling. There's three hands. Who is in charge of taking the point of order? Because 3 hands are up. Honourable Douglas.
Thank you, Honourable Chair. I will rise in Rule 84. The Honourable Member is improperly imputing motives to another member. They are actually imputing improper motives to our member. And in reality, he's clarifying the reality.
I said I'll come back with a considered ruling.
He doesn't need to withdraw anything, Mr. Chair.
I'll come back with a considered ruling. Yes, Honourable Reddy.
Thank you, Honourable House Chair. Please rule on these frivolous points of order by the ANC, because it is a fact about the bribery money in the CR17.
Honourable Member, I have made a ruling on that matter. You will withdraw that statement now. And if you don't want to withdraw the statement because there's a ruling that I've made on it, then you will face the repercussions of repeating a statement that I've ruled out of order.
The statement that you ruled
Remove
out of
him.
order is not the statement
Order.
I've made.
Honourable
I've made something
Member,
else.
Honourable Member, you will withdraw that statement.
Oh, for the sake of progress, I will withdraw.
Thank you very
But
much.
frivolous points of order,
Honourable-
please stop that.
Honourable
Please.
Member, I will
Your
rule.
comrades, please, thank you.
I will rule. Please proceed, Honourable Nkitam.
President, what happened to your CR17 alleged money launderer lawyer, Benny Eugene Faber, who has allegedly died in his sleep?
Chairperson,
Faber's law firm is allegedly to have received the Bosasa 500,000 on your behalf. The lawyer died mysteriously and hurriedly buried. We also have questions about the death of the Bosasa boss, Gavin Watson, a billionaire who died in a test, Kahlenibo. The list is long, Mr. Ramaphosa. We remind the nation of the mysterious death of Deputy Commissioner of the Police, Crime
Honourable
Detection.
Nkitam, will you take your seat, please? There's somewhere that somebody asked to be recognized there at the back. There was a hand right at the back.
Thank you very much, Chairperson. I rise on Rule 257, and this would speak to the Chief Whip of the opposition party, which is the MKP. We know that the MKP Chief Whip has been arrested. Just want to find
Mr.
out
Chair,
how this will
object.
affect
Honourable
the
Member.
operation of
Point of order. This is completely out of
As I
order.
took note that they left the proceeding when
Honourable
our
Member.
president
Ask her
was
to be
speaking,
removed from this
and perhaps
Honourable
they were not
Member,
given
please
directive
take
as to
your
how to
seat.
behave and conduct themselves
Honourable
in
Member,
today's
please
session.
take your
Thank you
seat.
very much.
Order.
No, we want point of order, Mr. Chair.
Order. Honourable Douglas, will you just relax, please? Honourable Member, you asked to rise on a point of order and you raised Rule 257. There is absolutely no relevance to the discussion that is currently taking place. Let me tell you what it deals with. It deals with the composition of the Chief Whip's Forum. And then you raise other issues that has absolutely nothing to do with that rule. Honourable members, please let us treat this debate with the necessary decorum and also with the seriousness that it demands from us. It doesn't help to throw insults at one another. It doesn't enhance the quality of your input. In fact, it degenerates to something else. But while I am on this point and the point of order has been raised, Honourable Nkitama, I've been informed by the table, and they've assisted me, that you said, and I quote, your hands, and this is in reference to the President, your hands are dripping in blood. You called the police on them and they were massacred. This casts serious aspersions on the President in terms of the matter that you've raised. It's in violation of Rule 85, and you must withdraw that statement. Order, honourable members.
The Marikana workers were.
Honourable member, you must
Massacre.
withdraw the statement.
I withdraw the statement.
Thank you. Please proceed.
Okay. The list is long, Mr. Ramaphosa. We remind the nation of the mysterious death of Deputy Commissioner of Police, Crime Detection, Lieutenant General Sindile Mfazi, who was at the time of his death, amongst others, seized with the investigation of the Phala Phala scandal.
Honourable Nkitam, will you take your seat, please? Honourable member, why do you want to be recognized?
Chairperson, there is continuing imputation on the part of the member on the podium against the person of the President, and I submit that in terms of rules 92 and 93, you rule him out of order because he's continuing along that path endlessly.
Honourable
And-
member,
Thank you.
I cannot silence the member. What I will do is that in terms of his speech, I will rule on matters that he's raising. And then at this particular point, in terms of the rules, I can take a decision. So I'm listening to what the member is saying. The duty of the whips is to raise a point of order, and I rule on it. Honorable Ketam, you may proceed. Order, honorable members.
The MK Party supports the petition named Justice for Lieutenant General Mfazi. Please Google it and support it. Justice for General Lieutenant Mfazi. Mr. Ramaphosa, how many more must die in the massive cover-up of your wrongdoing? Death and corruption follow you, say. The workers of Marikana died.
Honorable Nkitam, will you please take your seat, please? Honorable Darkmore.
Thank you, Chairperson. Chairperson, once again, the Speaker is placing...
Order, honorable members. Order. Order.
Is abusing the rules, which say that you cannot impugn the integrity without a substantive motion. If there are allegations, a substantive motion must be brought. But this is an ongoing attempt to defame the President, counter to the rules which we have about a substantive motion.
Thank you. Order, honorable members. Order. Wait, honorable Nkita. Honorable Douglas, why do you want to be recognized?
I want to be recognized for you to please protect our speakers under Rule 92 of the National Assembly rules. Members may not disrupt proceedings by raising points of order that do not comply with this rule. There's complete frivolous points of order to try and disrupt our member. And this is because they are guilty.
Honorable member, you are now...
Because they are guilty, they must accept that.
Honorable Douglas, you are now imputing motives and acquisitions to the other members by saying they are guilty.
Guilty from what?
Right? Honorable members, Honorable Kitam, you have continued on this trend. I've made a ruling in terms of a number of matters that you refer to the President.
Remove him.
And if you continue in this vein, I will unfortunately have to ask you to leave the podium. This is now your final warning. You can howl and scream at me, honorable members. It's not going to change my mind. I apply the rules of the Assembly, and you are not going to run the proceedings of this session from where you're sitting. There's rules in this House. Why do you want to be recognized, honorable member?
Ngithokoze Mgcinisihlalo. Mgcinisihlalo, u-Honorable Darkmore akakhothi any rule here. Ukhuluma ngendlela afuna ngayo and uyamlisa azenzele into afuna ukuyenza and thina masithi siyakhuluma ufuna ama-rules.
Honorable member, that's not a point of order.
No, Chair.
That is not a point of order. I suggest that you go through the rules, and if you have a point of order, you rise. The number of points of order that has been raised against this speaker pertains to the very same rule that has been referred to. I have asked the member on 2 occasions to withdraw the statements that he has made, and he has done so. However, if we continue in this vein and the member continue to violate the rule, I will have to ask him to leave the podium. Please continue, honorable member.
Thank you, Chair. Okay, let us turn to Phala Phala. So, it is alleged that the phantom buyer dropped the money and didn't pick up his uncles. President, you must still tell the nation, how did American dollars arrive in the country? Through the OR Tambo International Airport, or they jumped the Limpopo River on the back of a crocodile? Mr. Ramaphosa, you are likely involved in criminal expanse.
Honorable Nkitam.
Allegedly.
Honorable Nkitam. Will you just take your seat? I want to recognize the Honorable Skosana.
No, thank you very much, Honorable Chair. I'm rising on Rule 90, on the rule of anticipation, because the matter that the member is quoting there is a committee of parliament that has been established to look at it. So the member can't make reflection on that particular matter because there's a special committee that has been established by parliament to look at it. Thanks.
Honourable Member, if you read Rule 90 in terms of the rule of anticipation, it refers to a matter appearing on the order paper or agreed upon by the programming committee for scheduling. That matter is in front of a committee. It hasn't started its deliberations yet, and it's not on the order paper at the moment. Also the rule of anticipation apply when a committee has completed their work and it is placed on the order paper for debate and for discussion. What I'm doing is to listen very carefully to what the member says, broad references to the matter. That is the member's right to raise it. However, when it goes into other matters that has been raised in terms of Rule 85, I will rule on that matter. Please proceed. Order.
Mr. Ramaphosa, you will not survive the impeachment committee. There is no safety in the so-called GNU numbers. The GNU won't provide protection. It will be you standing alone before the impeachment committee. You will have to answer for all the wrongdoings in your name. The judiciary is not a forest to hide criminals. No, there shall be no repeat of the concealment of your donor scandal by the judiciary. Mr. Ramaphosa, the lives of our people have worsened under your rule. Unemployment is a national crisis. Our youth are abandoned to drugs, alcohol abuse, and economic marginalization. Over 50% are unemployed. What stops you to call a youth unemployment a national disaster so that extraordinary measures can be taken to assist our youth? South Africa is raising a generation of Nyaupe addicts. Why can't you declare that all graduates be employed on a compulsory basis as soon as they graduate? Our children graduate and languish under poverty and unemployment. The landless shall not receive land under your government. Your government shows its commitment to the land reform program through allocating less than 1% of the national budget. This year marks 50 years of the June 16 uprising. A president, to honor those young people, please declare youth unemployment a national disaster. Also, we move as MK Party that the spaza economy must be reserved only for South Africans. Your comrades in eThekwini, Comrade President, are involved in massive corruption. They are selling land to their friends and on inflated prices sometimes so that they can make money. They're literally privatizing state land instead of giving it to our landless people to address the housing and land question. Please pay attention to them. Okay. Later on, the MK Party is bringing to this House an amendment of Section 25 of the Constitution to make sure that land is given to our people. We are a black majority in this House. When that amendment comes through, we hope you'll do the right thing and vote so that land expropriation without compensation can become a reality for our people. I do want to conclude by saying only the Mkhonto Wesizwe government shall address the massive problems faced by our people. Mkhonto Wesizwe is going to be in government, and Mkhonto Wesizwe is going to liberate our people. Kwaza Mkhonto, Kwaza.
Not gonna be government.
Order, honourable members.